Now, our next guest has an interesting perspective on the Hunter Biden news, both as a former U.S. attorney prosecuting these types of cases and as the former director of the National Intelligence Agency that dealt with the FBI and its handling of the Hunter laptop back in 2020. Joining me now, John Ratcliffe, former Trump director of National Intel. John, now you've heard all of this. When all the details of the Hunter Biden laptop came out back in 2020, everything on it was quickly labeled as disinformation. Get everybody off the scent. But this whistleblower reveals something that the FBI and the IRS knew before the laptop went public. What can you tell us?
Yeah, Laura, I'll just say, first of all, I watched the whistleblower today. Credible, competent, and everything that he said added up, made sense, consistent with Department of Justice and U.S. Attorney Manual policies, whereas what Merrick Garland said simply doesn't add up. And you mentioned the fact that I was U.S. Attorney. So, but two things really stood out from what the whistleblower said tonight in his interview. One, we can stop speculating that this was a sweetheart deal for Hunter Biden. He said it. He said the most serious felony charges were left on the table, and he pointed out that the special agent report that went to the prosecutors, including AUSA Leslie Wolf, laid out all of the elements for those felony charges, and she agreed that they were met. And at some point after that, that got reversed. By who and when, we don't know, but those are things that, we're going to need to drill down to find out. But really the most compelling thing that he said, Laura, was when he talked about the fact that this WhatsApp message that reveals Hunter Biden shaking down Chinese officials associated with the Chinese Communist Party for millions of dollars, that WhatsApp message, he talked about the fact that they authenticated it through Apple. They obtained it through Apple. So think about that when they were seeking these search warrants that you were just talking about, relating to trying to get documents about these financial transactions involving China and Ukraine and other places and Hunter Biden, the FBI agents, along with IRS agents, were affirming that information was credible, that they had probable cause to seek that. Yet within months of that, we know that other FBI agents were going to social media platforms and saying, if you hear something about Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, the big guy, financial transactions involving China and other countries, it's likely Russian disinformation. Those two things really can't be reconciled. I mean, FBI Director Wray really needs to publicly address that contradiction.
One of the things that also came out tonight was that Jim Comer, Congressman Comer, noted that the new information they have includes that payments went to non-Biden family members, presumably other friends or associates of the Bidens, with other bank accounts, other LLCs, and other shell companies. So this was a web of transfers, accounts, clearly trying to hide where this money was coming from. And then Biden never really revealed the source of his income in that crucial year, just how much income he got, which leads everyone to ask, how did Biden get so rich? Joe Biden, how did he get so rich? We don't know, right?
And that's why this IRS whistleblower is saying none of this makes sense. You talked about the WhatsApp message that Hunter Biden bragging that nobody's better than the Bidens at the business that the chairman wants done. And you have an IRS investigative team saying, what is that business?
Yeah.
What do? You don't have any products, so what services are you providing? What do you do better for officials in China and Ukraine and Romania? And that's why I think they're all so motivated and so distraught by the fact that this has been swept under the rug very clearly for political reasons that need to be drilled down on.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most concerned, how concerned are you, John, that Joe Biden is compromised in our dealings with China because of these business dealings of his son?
Well, I've run out of other reasons than to think that he's compromised. I mean, what else? It can't be that he's that incompetent. It can't be that he doesn't care at all about America's national security.
1 to 10, John.
I mean,
1 to 10.
15?
How concerned are you? 15. Okay, well, that's pretty concerned. All right, John, thank you for your perspective. Good to see you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.